friends, happy December. I can't believe it, but it's the last month of the year. I am so excited about this month's printable because it is something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and it turned out, I think, really cool. As you know, I have been obsessed with alcohol inks for quite a few years, but I was trying to figure out how to make the alcohol ink into a product or into a sticker or some kind of thing where it looks like you actually did it in your journal. Because as you know, if you worked with alcohol inks before, sometimes they're a little bit difficult because they go different directions and you need to use certain paper or put down gesso first, and it could just get everywhere and you have to have a very well ventilated area. But I was able to make some designs using alcohol inks and put them on the printable for this month. All right, I have two possibilities here. One is just printed on regular copy paper, regular printer paper. And then this one I printed on Avery matte sticker paper. And you can tell the difference, and I'm gonna be working with both so I can show you the different options. You can obviously use whatever you have. Grab the printable below, it's linked, and let's get to it. Here's a look at how November turned out. If you joined in for that, it's not too late to get that printable either. And I think that it's okay if you want to look back on it, because this is what I did here. I chose a love list and I filled it in throughout the month. I can still go ahead and add some more things as well if I want to, but I love the way this feels and turned out. I do want to show you the printables on regular paper and the Avery sticker paper. It turns out great on no matter what paper you choose to use. This is the matte clear sticker paper from Avery, and then on the left is just white copy paper. I think it's about 120 pounds, or anything that works for you is fine, whatever you have in your printer. Same with the notebook. I'm actually starting fresh in a brand new notebook. I love that feeling. I don't know why I always skip the first page. It makes me feel better. I can always go back to it. Perhaps you can relate. I use these Fiskars scissors, and you'll want to use some kind of glue stick or adhesive. And these are the basics that you need to start off with. You can also grab your favorite pens and anything that you want to add to it, we can grab as you go. I really had no set plan for this spread. I think what the process invites you to do when you're doing any type of art journaling, especially when you're doing something mindful like this, is that it really invites you to take a pause, to be mindful of your craft. You can be cutting these out and thinking about how you want to feel this December. How are you going to make some magic this month? I chose to cut out two different things from the printables. You don't have to print this on sticker paper and regular paper. In fact, I tend to only do regular paper because it's easy, accessible. If you don't have a color printer at home that works, you can probably find a local print shop or a UPS store or anything like an office store to print this for you for about $1, I think. It's very accessible. It's not that expensive. And then if you're using sticker paper, what I love about it is that you can buy a pack of sticker paper, which is linked below the exact one that I used. What I did want to show you though, before I stick this down, I changed my mind because I want to put some color on the paper below it. And the way I'm going to do it is with this Distress, oh no, not this Distress Oxide. I want to use Distress Spray Stain. I tend to make a mess, so getting a craft mat underneath here is probably a good idea, although you're going to see here that I sprayed too much. And on the left, you can't really see it now, but there is definitely spray on the table. So if you want to protect your area, definitely do that. I don't mind because I can just clean it afterwards. The chances of me making more of a mess are pretty good. I don't know if you're a messy or clean scrapper. I'm going to continue cutting these out, and I'm going to speed up the video so that you can see the process and it won't take a half an hour. But here is what it looks like. I love how the transparent sticker looks Remember how I got so excited about the alcohol ink effects? It'd be really difficult, I think, in my opinion, to get this alcohol ink onto this page in this way, especially with the white lettering. So I'm going to try to put some craft tape down. My initial thought was to find some letter stickers or take a marker and write what I wanted December to be about. But then I saw this Hope, Joy, Love, and I actually really think that's what this month should be about. Okay, I have a little smudge there with the red. What color is this? It's called Lumberjack Plaid from Tim Holtz, the red. It's the perfect new color that is all about the season. I've got the 'Tis the Season here, pasted it down. I cut out this leafy pattern, trying to figure out where it looks best. Now, I want to challenge you to use these elements and the printable in kind of innovative ways. Try new things, try new techniques if you feel inclined. If you don't and you'd rather choose comfort and what you're used to, that is perfectly acceptable. This is all about how you are going to create abundance for the month ahead. The beautiful part of doing this exercise every month is that it gives you time to really look inwards and see how you're going to make some magic. How are you going to allow this time for yourself to shine? There are so many opportunities to get overwhelmed, especially during this time of year, that I think it's really essential to take a step back or to take a pause and be mindful of how you're going to approach feeling this month and how you're going to find your flow. Because look, even though you might have the best of intentions and you're planning everything out, sometimes, often actually, things don't go as planned. I decided to cut this in the middle here because I love the idea of the spread going on both pages. And I'm using this collage page from Tracy Bautista. You can use any type of decoupage. I think the most popular one is Mod Podge. I don't prefer that one. I prefer this one to most all the other things that I've tried. This is the matte. She also makes a glossy, I think. I don't know if this is still available or not. If it is, I'll link it below. But any type of sealer, glue, finishing, I realized that I actually decided to paste that part, I think, in the wrong place. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe it's in the right place. Who knows? I think it looks decent. Also, don't judge yourself too hard while you're doing this. Go with the flow and enjoy the beauty that you're creating, because that's part of the process. What I realized here is that I wanted to emphasize the white a little bit more. So I grabbed the Posca marker I could find right away. The tip is a little bit big, so I had to be really careful to stay within the line. So then I found my fine tip ones and went ahead and filled in a little bit of the letters. So the great part of these Avery matte sticker papers is that you can use a marker on top of it. I needed to get some more paint out of this one and then fill in the D a little bit, just because I wanted it to be emphasized slightly so that it pops a little bit more. Now you could do that or you don't have to. I'm taking the Distress Spray Stain. This color is Uncharted Mariner. And then I'm adding a little bit more of the, what is it? Why can't I remember any names? Lumberjack Plaid. Now, this is a favorite color of mine that I've had for years because Tim Holtz did it, I don't know, a while ago when the Distress Paints had the dauber tips. So this is Cracked Pistachio, and I'm simply taking a small brush. You can use any brush that you have, and I'm using the paint from the cap to make these spots. Now, there's no rhyme or reason. I wanted to clean off the brush, so I decided to emphasize 'tis the season. The one thing I do keep in mind when I am doing a little bit of accents or background shapes or paint or colors, the elements I want usually show up in odd numbers. There's something about that makes it a little bit more visually pleasing. Now, it's not a hard, fast rule, but I tend to stick to that. So I trimmed out a little bit more of the white and decided to put this down with glue stick as the intro to the journaling. While this is coming together, whether you follow this pattern or not, I decide on where I'm going to actually put most of the writing. And here I love that there's a little bit of space above Time to Shine. So I'm taking the Altenew spotted washi. It's the wide washi tape. It's also linked below. And I'm using it to make these spots throughout the page. Now, you could definitely just do your own black dots, or I'm sure you have some washi tape in your stash that will match your colors for this spread or the feeling that you want to evoke. So I really encourage you to grab your supplies and just use what you have. If you do want to make this an excuse to get new supplies, that's great too. I've added this to the corner, and then I just need to trim it off and round it off here. Okay, so I love the way this Desert Night Altenew watercolor brush marker looks. I'm going to put down a little bit of color here, and I've got a regular paintbrush ready with the water. And what I'll do is just blend it to make a splotch. So see how it kind of bleeds out a little bit and gives a nice contrast? I love how that's looking. So if you want to do something like this with the supplies that you have, I encourage you to take what you have and use it in maybe ways that you hadn't thought of before. Now, to be honest, I've done something similar to this before, but I didn't know what I wanted to do on this acrylic. So I just decided to do these kind of diagonal stripes, but I don't know if I actually like the way it turned out. I left it. And that's also a part of the process, is experimenting, finding out what you're curious to try, and then going for it. And if you don't like it, you can cover it up. It's okay. Once again, I want to continue that imaginary line using the same technique as before and just continue it off the page. I love working with the borders and the edges. If you've been following me for a while, you've noticed that in me, I'm sure. I love also seeing how you all are using these different techniques. And what I did was I took inspiration from what I did here in my planner, and I love the way it turned out. So I didn't film that part, but that's why I'm doing this now, and that sort of explains to you where I got that from. And this is where I love experimenting, is in my memory planner. Thank you for all of you who ordered the Archer and Olive collaboration. It's sold out, so I hope you got it for next year, because that's what I'll be working in. And I'll share, obviously, techniques that you can work in any planner, but you know that I love this paper because it holds watercolor, it holds paint, stamping. I'm cutting this Bright Hope sticker, and I'm lopping off the bottom because I want it to go down here somewhere. And then I can use the other piece elsewhere throughout the month. That's the beauty of these printables as well, is that you can use them throughout your projects. You don't have to just use it, in a spread all at once. So the joyful overflow came from what I wrote down. And I love how it looks with these colors here. So I'm adding it with some glue stick. And I love the way the different techniques are coming together. I'm really experimenting with mixed media. I want to encourage you to do the same. Try new things. Step into wonder. How are you going to step into wonder, right? It's such a gift that we give ourselves, this time to be joyful, this time to experiment, this time to play. And I did my journaling off camera because I really wanted to focus on it. Though I don't usually type out the journaling prior, I did that this time, and then I was able to write and focus on making my handwriting neat. It says, embrace the notion that any time spent worrying is time that is wasted. Let go of what you used to believe to be true that no longer serves you. Let go and surrender. Get out of your own way when it comes to seeing what is possible. Design the life you've always dreamed of. Feel into all you desire because you deserve it. Truth be told, you actually deserve even more. May even more goodness grace you. Focus on the feelings, and you, plus those around you, will flourish fully. And that is just one of my many wishes for you, dear friend and Tangerine. Give this video a thumbs up, and thank you as always for watching and being subscribed to this channel. I really hope you feel inspired to get the creative juices flowing together with these monthly printables, and most importantly, for you to just carve out time to create abundance through playing with those supplies I know that you have and love. You're amazing. Here's to a delightful December ahead.